Welcome to Enjoy Fort Wayne. This episode is brought to you by the Wailanai Farmers Market and highlights the 350 vendors that make up the #1 market in the state of Indiana.
Hi, I'm Amber Broxon, and I'm with BroxonBerry.
BroxonBerry. Now, first of all, a little inside joke for you guys. Like about a month ago or so, for a split second, you guys got me. So, do you remember this? You came up to the main like booth, I guess, the information booth,
Okay.
and we sell hoodies and stuff, right? And I overheard you guys talking, and Ashley says to me, "Hey, do you want a BroxonBerry?" And for a split second, I'm like, I don't think I know what a BroxonBerry is. And then you're standing there like seeing if like you guys got me. And I was like, wait a minute, that's not a thing. But for a split second, fine. If you want me to admit it on a podcast with millions of listeners, fine, I'll admit it. How did the name first come? And then we can get into other stuff.
First of all, I am not the creator of a berry.
I was like, I don't know what that BroxonBerry is.
Actually, when we first, 7 years ago, when we first started selling, everyone's like, well, what's a BroxonBerry? I'm like, oh, I didn't even think of that. But it's...
You didn't think people would wonder?
No, we thought we were clever. It's my name. Broxon is my last name. And then berry, because we started off with strawberries. So we just... BroxonBerry.
All right, that story isn't as cool as I thought. Fine, but
no it's really not.
I'm just kidding. I feel like people who don't know that we know each other a little bit well enough to joke like this will be like, "Oh, he's kind of a jerk." But like you also, let's also move back. You won the Karen Award. What? Can you go over this real quick? So it was the end of 2022 summer.
Yeah.
Right?
It was they were having a Halloween costume contest. And I just so happened to have the haircut. So I'm like, I'm going to be Karen for
now,
Halloween.
What do you mean I happen to have the haircut? or do we have to just Google this? What do you mean?
So I had hair down to here.
Okay.
And I'm outside a lot. So I was putting it on top of my head. It started hurting my head. And honestly, it started smelling. It's not very pleasant. So I cut it. I went to a new person. They cut my hair.
And like a lot.
A lot. And
did you cry?
No, I was
Really?
happy. Yeah,
Okay.
except she butchered it.
So did you cry?
No, I went to somebody else and
fix it.
they fixed it, and I ended up with like no hair, like I could spike it, you know. Justin called it the fat girl's haircut, but we won't go there.
Oh my god!
But it came down here, and I play a really good. I look like Karen because I have RBF.
So,
Yeah.
What was the costume again? You had a name tag that said Karen, right?
Yeah, I had a shirt that said I need to speak to a manager, and it said Karen, and then I had like gaudy jewelry and.
Now, here's what's funny. A year ago, I was fairly new to coming on helping with this fine organization. So I didn't necessarily know. I mean, I know you now, but like, I was like, that's an odd choice. But like, as you get to know, you're like, oh no, that's not an odd choice. That is the choice, right? Like it was just perfect. Okay, so let's get that out of the way. That's for starters. Now let's get into BroxonBerry a little bit. Have you been doing this since you were a wee lad? What is this what you wanted to be doing?
Isn't it a lassie?
Oh, yeah. See, I don't know.
I think a lad's a boy.
I'm a city boy. I really don't know. Obviously.
But no, I haven't been doing this. I've been doing
Oh
this
yeah,
for
wee lass. I get. Yeah. All right. Fine.
since I was a wee lad.
Where's your husband? I'll just ask him.
No, he's at home watching the children.
Yeah.
But no, I 7 years ago became a farmer.
Wow.
7 years ago.
So you're not accustomed to your hair smelling?
No.
Oh.
I've
Not
always
that
had
you
it.
seem like a chick that's like, oh, I bet her hair smells.
Well, when it's up and it's wet and it's out in the sun and
Yeah.
for like, I don't know, 12 hours, and you take it down and it's all musty. Smells like, it's the stuff you don't think about.
Yeah. So is this something that you thought 10, 15 years ago that you would be doing?
Oh, absolutely not.
Why do you say it like that?
No.
Now I'm curious.
Because we still laugh about it. Because it was like, if you asked me what I was going to be doing 10 years ago, you told me I was going to be a farmer, I would have looked at you and been like, yeah, whatever.
So, all right. So why? I mean, were you like indoorsy like me? Is that?
No, I was always outdoorsy. I was a restaurant manager with a fine arts degree. And I was like, I wanted to go to Paris, see all the, fine art, travel the world, be an artist. That didn't pan out. So one day I tried my mom's strawberries from her garden. And I had never had a strawberry, like fresh.
What do you mean? You never had a fresh strawberry?
Have you?
I mean, yeah.
Have you?
First of all, I'm from California, so
okay, so you probably have. Okay,
I've picked them in a city that's just known for picking strawberries, right?
Well, around here, most people haven't. Like,
oh, okay. I guess you know what? I didn't put that together. That in about an 8-minute span, you're finding out how unintelligent I am. But strawberries are not a thing, really, that much out
they're
here.
They're a thing for like a month, like. Of course, you can go to the grocery store and get them all year round.
But they're not from here either. And dude, they're sour.
No, it's because they're not ripe.
Yeah, no, I don't like those.
Well,
yeah.
that's what I grew up on. That's like I always put like tons and tons of sugar on it. So my mom, I don't even remember her starting this patch. She just went out there one day, was like, "Mom, you got strawberries. Can I have one?" And I ate one, and it blew my mind. I was like,
it was just so good.
It was so good. It was sweet. And then she's like, yeah, we're going to have it on, like on dessert, like she's making all this stuff with strawberries.
Of course.
And I was like, I don't even need to put sugar on these. So I was like, oh my gosh. And they're gorgeous. I think they're gorgeous, like the plants themselves. And I think that's what really inspired me was the beauty of the plant. And the taste. I was like, wow, this is amazing.
Yeah.
So I propagated them. I looked on YouTube and found out how to propagate a strawberry plant. And I took 69 plants from her patch. And I started the Peg's patch on our farm at the time. So.
Now, what is your husband, where is he in the story? I mean, he didn't eat the strawberry. He didn't think it was that great, or...
I mean, he ate them. He's like, oh, these are really good. And then, like, something clicked in my brain, and I don't think he realized it. But he was working his full-time job. I think at that point in time, he just quit his management job at Bob Evans, and then he became a parts manager in Bluffton for Tom Kelly. And
so not farming.
No, not
Nothing
at all.
to
No,
do.
he has a high-performance automotive degree. So, like, we have no farming background whatsoever.
I love this show for getting to know people's, like, origin stories. Seriously, some of you guys, it's incredible what you were doing, like, 5, 6, 7 years ago. And now, like, we couldn't think of you another way.
Yeah,
It's crazy.
most people have no idea. They see me as, well, that's the carrot lady or Karen or the strawberry lady. I've been called many things.
I bet you have. So, yeah, okay, this is so intriguing. Are you guys originally from Fort Wayne?
No, we're from Huntington.
Okay. I mean, kind of close enough.
Yeah.
Kind of. So, you guys decided 7 years ago that, okay, well, this is going to be a thing now? Or did you graduate? Like, how did that go?
So I was working my job. I was working probably about 55 hours a week. It was soul crushing to me. I worked late hours and was always everywhere because I was a manager at a restaurant. So,
Oh, yeah.
if anybody, yeah, we won't get into that. But I wanted to get out for the longest time. It was soul crushing. I couldn't do it. I couldn't see my family. He finally got holidays off, and then he was coming in with our kid. And I, like, broke down in tears because I was like, I'm stuck here for, like, the next 9 hours making pizzas and answering phones.
Yeah, like...
One day it just snapped. I'm done. I handed him my keys. I came home. I didn't talk to Justin at all about it. at all.
So
in the back of my mind, I was like, I had money set aside, because I didn't have time to spend it. So I was like,
so you got some in the bank.
So I got some in the bank. I was like, you know what? If all else fails, he can pay the bills and I can start this thing.
And we'll survive off love.
No.
Oh.
Well, I mean, there's love there, but like, let's be real.
Way to keep it real.
So, in 2016, I quit my job, and the very next day, I was out laying tarp to plant my strawberries, and I got heat exhaustion.
Waste not, want not.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a very good worker. Like, I'm always like, I got, if I have something in my head, I'm going to do it.
Well, and if you're passionate about it, I mean, obviously, you can tell you're passionate about it. So
yeah,
but wow.
Yeah, and that's where it started. But it was only ever meant to bring in what I was bringing in. Obviously not the first year, but like a couple years down the road, we had written down on the chalkboard with numbers like, oh, if we do this, take this many runners, next year we can double, triple, and and it all looks good until you actually do it.
Well, because of all the things that are going to go wrong, right?
Well, yeah. Like there's weather, and the fact that I was like, okay, well, if I do this and this, I can be making $100,000 in like 3 years on strawberries. But I was so naive. We were so naive about this. It didn't work. It's very labor intensive, and I didn't have nearly enough strawberries. And like people come out of the woodwork when you have fresh strawberries.
Really?
I was out there picking for orders. It wasn't big enough to have a U-pick by any means. And people were just coming. And I was like, oh my God. I didn't have enough strawberries. It was actually kind of embarrassing, but then the strawberry season was over. And I was like, well, what am I going to do now?
Oh, I know where you're going with this.
Yeah. So I was like, I love pumpkins. I love zucchinis. I love the cucurbit family.
You're like, wait a minute, let me just do other stuff that I mean, like, what's the difference? Why don't I just keep...
Yeah. So, I did that, and that was a flop the first year, because if you plant it, they will come. Every night I'd come home, there'd be another plant flopped over. Another plant flopped over. Another plant flopped over. So I literally sat down and cried. I was like...
You're a crier. We see.
I'm not really, but
in 8 minutes you've cried twice.
Oh, yeah, that's okay. I'm a crier.
No, I'm joking.
But yeah.
No, that would be demoralizing.
It was.
No one, you wouldn't wish that on your worst enemy. Like,
and I was like,
you put your heart and soul into something.
Yeah, I failed. I was like, I quit my job. I was like, oh my gosh, I got,
What are we gonna do?
And Justin's like, it's okay. It'll be okay.
Because he loves you.
Because he loves me.
See love.
Built on love. So, yeah, I cried. But, I was like, you know what? No. I'm not going back to, no. I can't do it. I can't do the 9 to 5. Well, it wasn't 9 to 5, but I can't do it anymore.
It's worse than 9 to 5. Restaurant?
Yeah.
That's what, and holidays and weekends, and that's worse than 9 to 5. You'd probably take a 9 to 5.
Yeah, and I was working extra because when I quit, I was 2 weeks away from getting a promotion, and it was very shocking.
No, it had to have been that bad. I worked at probably 10 restaurants in my life, serving and bartending, and so I completely get it. You wouldn't wish that on, yeah. So you kind of are fumbling through. Is there ever a point where you feel like you're not fumbling, honestly?
No, we have a saying, farming is failing. And now where we're at now, every year I expect something to fail. You just got to get that in. Something's going to fail.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't, oh man, that's just going to be an amazing year.
Yeah, yeah.
But we haven't seen that year yet.
So let me ask you this. You said about 7 years, right?
Mm-hmm.
Was there a year where it did kind of click that, you know what, let's just put some money aside for all the things that will go wrong, or let's budget for it and let's see how it goes, and then at the end of that fiscal year you were like, man, I think we've hit something here. Like, this is good. Let's keep doing it this way. Is that a thing?
It is a thing. Like, that's
Awesome.
actually a very important thing because, 2017 was the flop year. It was a major flop year. Like, it was hit the bricks, and I wouldn't call it completely failing because from all those mistakes.
Well, it would be if you quit.
Yeah.
So it's impossible to be a complete failure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, like, I went to the books and I learned about bugs, life cycles, and all of that stuff.
How to make this not happen again.
Exactly.
I mean, hello.
And
Love it.
I loved it. Like, I spent all winter, like, studying plants and life cycles of bugs and diseases and all of that stuff.
Yeah.
And I put a plan together for the next year. So, like, 2018, we doubled our sales. Still not enough to live on. But everything went back into the business. Like, I didn't, like, pay my bills with it. It went back into the business. And then 2019 came, we doubled our business again. So now
That's big.
BroxonBerry is sustaining itself. And I was like, I was pregnant during this too. I got pregnant again.
Oh.
And so that was fun.
I mean, we know how babies, yes, we get it.
Well, yeah, that was fun too. But, doing all that pregnant, and like 2 days before I gave birth, I was out laying tarp, preparing for next season. But I told Justin, I was like, I need to hire somebody or you need to quit. So here comes 2020. We roll into 2020. We're like, we're going to overplant. We're just going to overplant and see what we can produce.
Oh, and the C word.
Yeah, and COVID hit. Yeah, and we dominated. That was the springboard because all the supply chains and everything was going to crap. And I can't tell you how much we didn't have enough food. We were insane. So
That's so the opposite of so many vendors who COVID tapped them out for they can't do this. But you're doing food that people want. Like, oh my gosh.
hashtag farming's not canceled. That's what we did. And, and for us, like, I guess for me, because Justin was still working at the time, because we had set aside a plan where we were going to save enough money for us to live for a year. So he could come out of his job and then we could
Crush it.
Exactly. And like, if it totally flopped, we had enough money and so we could go find jobs. Well, at least one of us would anyway.
You would eat bonbons.
Yeah. We didn't fail. It worked. It worked really well.
Let me ask you this. Is it weird to say that your numbers maybe wouldn't have, it's hard to say what they would have been if it wasn't COVID and it was just regular, and that you're actually counting your blessings a little bit with COVID?
Yeah. And
Is that a weird thing?
It is. I've thought about this numerous times. It's like, whatever is out there, like God, whatever you want to call it.
Right.
It's like 3 years before this happened, gave me a little time to get my bearings. And, it's like it was almost planned. Like,
yeah.
Like how lucky did I get that I did what I did when I did it? And now if COVID didn't happen, I wish COVID wouldn't have happened.
Right.
But it did. And
Right.
it really helped us just because it showed the frailty of this is our system.
Yeah.
And I knew that we would be okay because everybody needs to eat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'm one of these weird people like you that during COVID, I actually made more money. I was a financial advisor and people were freaking out.
Mm-hmm.
And so I remember it was officially St. Patrick's Day weekend when they really shut down.
Mm-hmm.
People were getting ready to go out for St. Patrick's Day 2020. And then from then on, it was canceled. And in the month of April, I made over 10 grand from financial stuff, like insurance and plans. And because not only could people not ghost me, they're home.
Mm-hmm.
So Zoom became a thing. And if you had stock in Zoom, you probably made some money because Zoom is a worldwide known thing now.
Yeah.
even if you're not Zooming and it's a different app like Google Meet or something, you say Zoom.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's crazy. So people, I couldn't meet with them face to face, but we would Zoom, and then they would buy from me, and it was crazy. I had like 89 meetings in the month of April.
Nice.
Like, what? Like, COVID like really benefited me.
Yeah.
And I hate to like so many people, their dreams were crushed. They're this, and I was like, oh man, I did really well. Like, so I get that feeling of like you kind of feel a little like, sorry I did so well, but like, and you did work hard. I worked my butt off, but it was just one of those weird things. But that is interesting to think of what that did to propel you.
Mm-hmm.
And now, okay, so now then let's jump to coming out of COVID. You kind of feel like you have a decent system of, okay, when you're going to stop working, when you're going to take a break, when you're going to do this, when you're going to get back, when you're going to set your orders up, when you're going to, like, you feel just as you do it, or was that something from the get-go that you knew you wanted to pinpoint?
No. No. We've learned this. I don't even, like, it has just been every year we've learned something new. So, like, COVID, we learned that people just like to pick up their produce. They don't really like to talk a lot. They just want to come and pick it up. So we learned that. We learned the flow at the market. Because, like, when they had to, like, rope off everything, it was like, okay, well, now everyone can pile in instead of everyone just, like, bum rushing our booth. Like, that came out of it. But, like, no, like, in the last 2 years, I would really have to say we've really got it down, like how much money we need to start up, like when we need to start this stuff, when we need to contact our accounts, when we're going to stop, when, like, we probably should have stopped a couple weeks ago. We're behind on the farm. Like, that's probably the worst thing, but, like, we can still produce. So we were just kind of raking it in there at the end.
Yeah.
But, every year you learn how to just tweak your business, and it's different every year because the weather's different every year.
For sure.
Yeah. I don't know, did that answer your question?
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. There's things with my business too that I'm doing now that last year, if I would have known that, it would have saved me a bit of money and a bit of headaches. But I'm excited now to learn more and just boom, fine tune it every time. And there's no way you're going to know everything, but that's part of the journey. I mean, are there days where, tell me about a day that went by where you were like, when I wake up tomorrow, I'm probably going to just look at the wanted ads and find a job.
Oh, every day. That sounds bad. I love my job. But, like, definitely during the summer, like May, June, July, and August.
Those are the dog days, though, right?
Yeah. And it's like,
I'm out of breath.
I can be out, because we work like 12, maybe plus hours a day, both of us. Like, we have no life. So sometimes I'll just be down there, like, harvesting all these carrots, and I'll stand up and I will look at him. What the hell did we do? What did we do? And I was like, be a farmer, they said. It'd be fun, they said. Nobody ever said that.
I was going to say, I don't know anyone that said that.
They've never said that.
Yeah.
But
we've had the other farmers on. Mitch, these guys, I don't think they say that.
No. And, it grows every year. And we're at the point now where we're hiring people. We're looking for people, but that in itself is hard because it's not.
You can't afford me.
Most people don't want to do this work.
Yeah.
So we're coming up with different ways to diversify our business.
Cool.
Don't want to say anything yet, but
okay. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's.
Yeah, your brain's always going when it's yours. If you clocked in, would you really be even having this conversation? Like, yeah, we got some other things in the works. You wouldn't care. You just clocked in and clocked out.
Yeah.
It's different, right?
Yeah. Like,
that's what's cool.
And that's the hardest part about this job. Or anybody that owns their own business. You don't clock out. You don't ever clock out. I wish I could. Like, I wish I have, I've told a few people, but like I actually had my first anxiety attack probably about a month ago. because there's just so much going on. Like November's the hardest month for me because I got 2 birthdays. My kids' birthdays are in November. The farm's winding down, but we're still going really strong in the produce, and I'm trying to get everything together. Plus, you got Thanksgiving in there, throw that in there.
Yeah.
And I'm cutting microgreens, and I'm just like, and they're all laying weird, and I was like, oh my God. And I was like, you cut them. I can't do it. And he's like, are you okay? I was like, no, I'm not okay.
Yeah, Karen, are you okay?
Like, I'm not okay. Like, and then oh my gosh, I cried. I cried again.
So 3 times in 24 minutes. So that's fine.
This is embarrassing. Okay. Maybe I need to see a therapist.
Hello. What do you think this is?
It is therapy. This is very nice talking. No, I'm not going to cry though. I promise.
You're allowed. Our millions of listeners will.
But what were we talking about?
I don't remember.
Oh, my anxiety attack. Yeah.
People have to rewind and figure out what we were talking about and then message us later. Oh, you guys were talking about.
But there's just so many things and there's so many things I want to do. There's just not enough time in the day. But I think I got that under control. Like, and definitely now as the season is winding down, I'm getting time to finally breathe.
So let me ask you some advice for people who maybe not necessarily looking to get into farming, and they could be, but in general, they have an idea, they're passionate about something, they want to do something on their own, they want to be their own boss, they want to do all these things, whether it's farming or underwater basket weaving, I don't care. What is your advice to them?
Make it a business from day one. So you're not just like, oh, well, maybe I'll do this. No, you need to make a business.
Like an LLC and and get it official.
And we did that. I did that like 2 days after I quit my job.
Yeah. And after you laid the tarp down.
Yes. So I had to go through all of that, which we're now a corporation.
Oh.
I know. Taxes.
Yeah.
Definitely make it a business, and you have to be very regimented. Like you have to have a schedule. You know, like if you went to a 9-to-5 job, okay, get up at 7, drink your coffee, get to work at 9, or whenever. Just
hopefully a shower's in there.
Well, somewhere in there, but get ready.
Yeah.
Stay very regimented because it can definitely get away from you. You know, Netflix and chill. Like,
yeah, because you don't have a job. There. You don't.
Yeah, I mean, you need to set aside that time and work on what you want to do. Make a 5-year plan. We made a 5-year plan, and that 5-year plan was pretty much obsolete after the 2nd year. But we went back and tweaked it.
Yeah.
So you always have a goal you're working on, and then you can make smaller goals on how to reach that bigger goal, or else you're never going to make it. And it's that way with life. Like, you know,
I tell people you want to have a weekly goal, a monthly goal, and then however many years you're thinking, 5, 10, like whatever, and revisit them all the time.
Yeah.
Even ones that are 8 months out, you want to look ahead and say, am I on pace for it? Does it even make sense? Did my values change? Usually they won't with something like that. But like that's a thing, right? It's like it keeps you grounded for sure. I love that. Okay, so are you ready for one of the last questions?
Is this that banner question?
Yeah. Now let me tell you something. You're the first person that actually we've been doing. You've seen a lot of these now. Obviously, you have.
I actually went on. I went on a binge of watching these.
So what's really cool is you're the first person who like amped up for it and said, "Oh, is it this?" Everyone else, even if they watched, they either forgot or like whatever, and I still like blew them away. They were like, "Oh, that's a great cut." Now, did you like write something down? Did you already have it?
Oh, I've been thinking about it.
I love this.
I have been thinking about it, and there's so many things. I mean,
so let me break it down in case this happens to be someone's first episode that they're listening. It could be a friend of yours or something that they don't see the other shows, which go back and start from the first one. Ashley, our humble leader, is the first episode that we have, and there's all kinds of great vendors. But if this is your first episode listening, what I'm about to ask, Karen is, sorry, is if the mayor commissioned you to write a message on a board that was going to go over the entire 260 or the whole Northeast Indiana, whatever it was, and he hired you, and you get to say what it's going to say. You get to do it. What would you say? Now, when I usually tell this, everyone who comes on the show either forgets that that's a question, or I just caught them red-handed not listening to the show because they didn't know.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas you're like, oh, is it the banner question? I was like, oh, okay.
I was wondering if you were going to pick a different one.
No.
Like throw it out there. Like, okay.
No, that's my thing, because it's a great, what I love about it, I'll tell you. What I love about it is a person's personality has shown in the last 20 minutes,
Mm-hmm.
which I will say, if you've seen some of these episodes, I think our banter was pretty good. Pretty good banter.
I thought we were just getting warmed up.
Like, this is the pre-show, you thought.
Right?
So, like, which I will say, thank you for being so cool. I do love it.
Can't help it.
So, but yeah, I love that in the 20 minutes your personality comes through, but then within 5 seconds it can come through real quick in like a thing that people can remember. And it's not something that you think of all the time. It's not something that you think of every day. And it's just a good way to end.
It's kind of morbid.
Why is it morbid?
What I'm about to say.
Oh.
It doesn't go with my my persona.
Well, which persona are we? You have so many.
I have
now.
like 10.
Yeah. I was gonna
have
say.
like 10. I'm about to be Bob Ross.
That
here
was a little
shortly, too.
Jim Carrey a little before that.
Was it?
I
That
think
was weird.
when you were like, it was a bit morbid. Like, it was just, I don't know. Anyway.
So, if I have to compete with Fred Grody, because those are the only
basically
that's
that's
the only banners
yeah,
I see.
yeah.
Okay, so my banner would read, if you think organic produce is expensive, have you priced cancer lately? Eat 9 cups of fruit and vegetables every day. Boom.
Oh my gosh. I mean, and that's one of those catchy ones. Like, if you think blah, 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 and whatever it is, like, that's catchy right there because it makes you, wow. I don't know what to say.
I almost thought about, like, you can be poor and sick, or you can be poor and healthy.
Either way, you got no money, but which you're this, yeah. See what I said now? Totally makes sense. If you want, rewind about 2 minutes where I said it shows your personality, and then in 5 seconds it shows your, and ding, 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 we have a winner. There you go. You've won your personality.
I have layers. I'm an onion.
Yeah. Do you do onions? No, that's not
Just for ourselves now. They aren't that profitable.
Gotcha.
They do make me cry too.
Touche. So now you've cried 4 times.
Mm-hmm.
So where give us the schedule, because now technically what's kind of funny, I guess I didn't again think all the way this through, that you guys aren't now going to be around as much. Are you going to hang out?
We're going to come and visit.
Okay.
And there might be a painting thing early in the year.
That was fun. So tell everyone real quick what you did last winter.
So we did a painting with Karen because everybody loved my Karen so much.
It's so funny, yeah.
She wouldn't let it go. She loved it. She wanted to do it. I was like, okay. And so I did some painting classes. It's like that painting with a twist. You could drink alcohol, but there weren't many people that did. But
yeah.
I taught you how to paint.
Yeah, we set up the easels,
Yeah.
right? And like,
Mm-hmm.
I remember getting some pictures and stuff for social media.
Yeah.
That was really cool.
It's kind of a thing now. Like my cousin who owns Rusty's, the ice cream shop, we're doing a Bob Ross one here in like 2.5 weeks.
Oh, really?
I'm Bob Ross.
Oh, that's awesome.
I got the wig and everything.
Dude,
so
that's dope.
So there's another side.
Yeah.
So
Very cool.
Yeah.
Okay, but so give us the rundown of the schedule of when you are around for produce and the best way to get a hold of you, and then also maybe give some fun things that you're doing while you have some downtime?
So normally from April to the end of November, we're at the Wildlands Farmers Market. We expected to go to the end of December, but we cut it short. So our last week at the market was last week. So like if you wanted to find us, we are on Facebook. We are on Instagram.
BroxonBerry.
BroxonBerry, yeah. Broxon Berry.
Yeah.
And we also have our own website, BroxonBerry.com.
Pretty straightforward.
Yeah, and like if you want to follow us, you can just go on there and sign up for our newsletter, and
Okay.
we send out newsletters. And what we do in the off season this year, it's going to be a little different. I'm thinking about getting into some YouTube videos. Kind of everybody's been wanting to learn how to do some stuff, so I'm going to get in on that.
Cool.
But really,
You like to edit and do all that stuff, fun
I
stuff?
am
or-
actually just now learning the editing thing. Like right before I came here, I was trying to like download some stuff, and my computer's ancient apparently.
I get it.
So I'm trying to find
That's
one.
awesome, though.
Yeah.
Good for you. So stay tuned is basically what we're saying.
Stay
to the
tuned.
listener.
Yeah, there's some
Things in the works.
and
Okay.
I think it's gonna really help out those customers that really don't want to do what we do, because let's be honest, nobody really wants to do what we do.
Right.
But to do it for yourself on a small scale,
Yeah, yeah.
very feasible.
100%.
So
Awesome. Well, thanks for being here. That was really cool. You want to do it again just do it every Monday then? Just come.
sure, yeah.
Yeah. Thank you. So remember then April.
Yes, in April we'll be back at the indoor market. April 6th is
For
what
a
it
little
is.
bit, and then obviously into the summer,
Yeah.
and then back at the winter market. Every Saturday from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. you can catch us, and you can catch Amber hanging around. Even if they don't have their vendor booth set up, you can probably catch her hanging around causing problems. So thank you so much. We will see you this Saturday.
This podcast is brought to you by Coraggio Media. The show is edited by me and sponsored by the Wildlands Farmers Market. Follow them on Facebook and Instagram for all the latest updates. We will see you next week, where we will be sure to show you how you can enjoy Fort Wayne.